Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 63. Andrew Eisen here, along with Zachary Knight. Hello, Zachary.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, everybody out there.
Yes, hello, everybody in Chatland, 13U Cube and Gittle.
Yeah.
All right, so, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been all right. This week I've been playing Stardew Valley some more. I'm almost through the fall of the second year. I've got about 5 days left in that, and yeah, I started really focusing on building the relationships with all these single eligible people in the game, and then just doing all the other townspeople just incidentally as I go along, mostly through quests and things like that. But yeah, I've got most of them over 4 hearts. There's still a handful of characters who are under 4 hearts.
Everybody
which
will
is about
love
halfway.
me, including my cows.
Exactly. Yep. Which every once in a while my cows will just kind of be grumpy one day, and I have no idea why. And when they're grumpy, they don't produce milk, and it drives me nuts because they can't make cheese if they don't make milk. But yeah, so chasing all these people down, you can give everybody 2 gifts a week, 1 gift a day, unless it's their birthday. Then you can go up to 3 gifts a week, and but yeah, chasing everybody down to give them gifts is kind of a pain, and then there's the fact that some people are very picky with what gifts they like. There's one character, his name is Alex. He's the jock character. He likes sports and everything, and he is super picky. Like, everyone has these gifts that they really, really love that give you the most friendship points with them. And his are 2 food dishes that are freakishly hard to make because they require multiple ingredients from multiple seasons, and I'm just like, you're stupid. I hate you now. So I give him the best thing that I can give him. But it's just earlier today, I was ranting about it on Twitter, and then a little while after the rant, I was able to purchase 3 of these dishes that he likes, and so that will help get him up, because right now he's at 1 heart. He's lagging way behind everybody else because everybody else has easy stuff to find that I can get and give them, but no, he wants to be difficult. So, but yeah, still lots of fun. I should be, going into winter soon, and we'll be trying to figure out what I'm going to do this second winter. I'll probably just spend most of the time in the mines after I catch a few fish that I need. But yeah. Let's see, what else have I done this week?
Jordan, this sounds like Farmville meets Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. There's a combo.
Yeah, not quite extreme beach volleyball. There's no volleyball, no bikinis, but it's pretty much just Harvest Moon. You just there's a little bit more to it than Harvest Moon, but yeah. But other than that, The Tick came out, and I watched the 2nd episode. I haven't gotten around to watching the other 4 episodes.
No, that can only be watched on Amazon if you have Prime, right?
Yeah, you have to have Amazon Prime in order to get it, in order to watch it.
Darn it, because I really want to watch that.
Yeah, we've got Prime because we do a lot of shopping, and Amazon is the best place for a lot of the things we need. So we got Prime, and so I want to watch the whole thing. It's only 6 episodes, and they're about half an hour long each. I wish there were more episodes, but yeah, so far it's really good.
Yeah, I've heard very good things about it.
Yeah, not it's fairly violent, but not incredibly so. There, in the 2nd episode, there is a scene where a vigilante character like I believe his name actually is Vigilante or something like that, but he's a kind of a Punisher crossed with Deathstroke, or maybe just Deathstroke, I guess.
I think I
Is more.
saw a clip with him that I found pretty funny. The Tick, and it might be this character, might be a different one.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
in
it
a park or
is.
something, and
Yeah,
they're about to throw down, and
yeah,
Arthur gets in a fight with, I don't know if it was Dot or someone else, and they get distracted. And he's like, "You want to take this fight over there? Nice open area, we could fight it." And the guy's like, "Nah, moments passed. I'm out of here." I'm like, that's actually pretty funny.
yeah, yeah. But there was this one scene in the second episode where this vigilante character is chasing after Arthur and corners him in an alley. But there's these other guys that are after Arthur's suit, and then the vigilante character just kind of drops down and just knifes everybody, like through the head and neck and stuff, and blood spurting everywhere. So it was in the dark, so it's like it wasn't overly gruesome, but yeah, lots of blood spurts and stuff. So pretty fun. But yeah, the characters are really nice. There's a scene that's available online, like on YouTube or something, that two of the main villains are having a conversation in the back of a limo, and that's a good scene. There's a lot more to that scene in the actual episode, but the scene itself online is still pretty funny.
Yeah, it's awkwardly paced. It's obviously cut down just for an internet clip, but I just like the idea of these two about to throw down. And he's like,
yeah,
moments passed. Not feeling it.
Yeah. It's good. It's good so far. Definitely. I still like. I still like the way that they introduced the Tick's new costume, because they changed the costume between the pilot and the second episode, and Arthur's running away from the fray, and the Tick comes up and Arthur's like had caught his breath and everything, and he looks at the Tick. He's like, "You look different," or did something. What? You look different, and the Tick's like, "Thanks," and that's all they say about the new outfit. And so it's like, television, or Showtime, there's like a 10 minutes of time passing between the end of the pilot and the beginning of the second episode, and the Tick's costume changes. It's great.
Yeah, well.
And then it's just thanks, and that's it.
It reminds me of when they changed the roadie actor to Don Cheadle in Iron Man 2. And Don Cheadle, when he first walks into the movie, Tony Stark says something like, "What are you doing here?" He says, "Yeah, I know. It's me. I'm here. Deal with it." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was handled a lot better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, because they changed the actress for April O'Neil, and that one, they handled that one just absolutely terrible. It's like April's walking into her apartment, and some random dude just like, "You're and the guy's wife is just like, "It's April O'Neil," and this is dumb. Why did they think this was a good way to introduce us to the new actress? They could have just had April O'Neil walk into her apartment, and the Turtles be like, "Hey, April," or something like that, and that would have been at least within the show or the movie, as successful. It would have been great, a way to introduce her as.
And then in I think the third movie, they just stopped trying. They didn't even try to get an actor who looked anything remotely like the first or the second one. They're like, cast
was it not the same actress as the second one?
Maybe it was, but I distinctly remember one of the new actors looked nothing like the woman who played her in the first movie. I'm like,
well, yeah, the second one is where they changed the actress, and then
is it the same one? Maybe they just completely changed her hair.
Well, I think the whole going back in time thing was let's see, Paige Turco played her in the second one. Yeah, she played the second and the third one.
Oh, okay.
So,
let's see. I have Netflix because I wanted to watch The Defenders, so I've been using it to watch some other stuff, namely finishing up Mystery Science Theater 3000, The Return, or whatever they called it, because I only got through like 9 episodes the last time I had Netflix, because it premiered like on the last day or two that I had the service.
yeah.
So I watched a couple more episodes of that. That was fun. I watched a movie called Train to Busan, which is a zombie movie, and actually a really good one. If you have Netflix, I recommend it, unless you absolutely hate zombies or can't brook running zombies.
Yeah.
Look at them as the infected then. It's really a good movie. It's takes place mostly on a train.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of, it reminds me a lot of Tremors, in the sense that this one's a lot more, Tremors is a bit more PG-13 horror. This one's a bit more R-rated horror, in that it's a bit more gruesome and more people die and stuff like that. But the thing I like about the Tremors movie is a lot of the focus is, okay, we are in a horrible, horrible situation. How do we use our intelligence and ingenuity to work around it? And I think all the Tremors films and even the TV show did a really nice job with that. And Train to Busan does too. So they need to get to car 9. They're in car 13, and all the cars in between are just packed with zombies. How do you get through them without dying? And they come up with some really incredible solutions, which is just a lot of fun to watch them pull off. So great. Great movie. I really enjoyed that one. Something else I watched on a lark was the full CG animated, so cartoon, like Final Fantasy Spirits Within or something like that. Gantz movie. If you're familiar with Gantz, it's a manga anime. You can probably see it on my shelf somewhere. I think that's it right there. It's a movie based on that story, and it's way too complicated. It would take me like minutes to explain, which is why it doesn't really make a great movie, because it's a incredibly ridiculously complicated concept that takes a while to explain. And the movie is like, bunch of people are here, they have weapons, there's a bunch of monsters, go. And the movie just does not care to explain anything. When it tries, it kind of falls on its face.
Yeah.
I was expecting just horrible. Like, I've heard the Attack on Titan live action movies are horrible, and a lot of Japanese productions, they just don't spend the kind of money that we spend on our entertainment. So I was expecting something fairly low budget and looking kind of crappy, but this was incredibly fun. And it looks really, really good. Not photorealistic, but it uses motion capture for the most part. It uses realistically, well, somewhat realistic characters, but with kind of a caricature in what they look like. So it definitely avoids the uncanny valley. It gets as close to realism as it can, but then makes it just cartoony enough to avoid Uncanny Valley. And all of the monsters are just so well designed and rendered and animated. It looks fantastic, and it's just a ton of fun to watch all these weird monsters run around. And it's gory and everybody dies. It's one of those things. But if you like weird monsters, I recommend it. It's on Netflix. This one really surprised me how much I enjoyed it. What else did I watch? I still have not watched Stranger Things. For some reason, I just cannot work up the interest to do it. I probably will at some point, because everyone says it's great, but I don't know. It's just not calling to me. What else have I watched? Don't know. But those are some highlights. Any thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles CG movie from '07? Yeah, I thought it was entertaining enough.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon movie. Basically, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series from that era, the early 2000s. I think it kind of fit in more with that than it did with the '90s movies that it was supposed to be a sequel to, but yeah, it was still fun. I liked it. There was plenty of plot holes and stuff to to go through, but not too terrible. Not so bad as why aren't any of the Ninja Turtles using their weapons? From Ninja Turtles 2,
2 and 3. Yeah, I enjoyed it well enough that I would have been happy to see them continue that. And continue with more CG turtle movies. And instead, they made CG live-action hybrid monstrosities that I have not bothered to watch. They look terrible.
The cartoon show is actually fairly entertaining. They're kind of in that I don't know what season they're in, but
the
like
Nickelodeon one.
But they're in a bit of a fourth season slump. I don't know if they're actually in I think it's the fourth season. It might be the fifth season, but it's in one of those slumps at like not quite as bad as the last season of X-Men and the last season of Gargoyles, but it's kind of that because huge spoilers if you haven't seen it. But huge spoiler if you haven't watched this is that Splinter dies at the end of the most recent completed season, and so
he'll be back.
And this season is just like a bunch of stories that aren't interconnected. There's no season-wide plot. It's just, here's 3 episodes of the Turtles teaming up with Usagi Yojimbo. Here's a story from when the Turtles were kids. Here's another story, and so there's it's still somewhat entertaining, but
Usagi Yojimbo was always weird to me because I was familiar with the character before Turtles. I actually read some of the books. And to see him, I mean, it works because he's an anthropomorphic rabbit, but and they're anthropomorphic turtles. But it was like, oh, that's weird. But
well, at least they keep the Usagi Yojimbo. He's not, in the shows, he's not a mutant. He's actually from another universe, and where a universe where everybody is an anthropomorphic animal, and so they've done that because they had crossovers with in the 2000s Turtles. Like they had some episodes where they traveled to Usagi Yojimbo's world, and then the same thing with the most recent Turtles as well. It's just they go to his world. So somebody
go ahead.
Huh? Oh, I was just gonna move back to this next question. He asked about Freakazoid or Bonkers. Yeah.
I never really watched Bonkers. I remember the advertising. I actually remembered the name. That's, and there was a gruff cop. I think it was trying to
it was trying to pull off a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of world. And
the entire thing is animated, so it's like, what?
I know that was
this real cop with a cartoon sidekick, but they're both animated.
Everybody is the cartoon. It was.
So it's just kind of weird, but Freakazoid is fantastic. At least the first.
I don't recall ever watching Freakazoid, but I watched Bonkers because it was a Saturday morning cartoon, and I watched all of those, and it was kind of weird to have a animated character claim to be a real world person. It's like we have real world physics that don't apply to us, but you as a cartoon character can bypass real world physics, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I can swing with the conceit, but it is just kind of weird. I mean, it would be like there's this movie that's been going to come out for a long time that I'm excited to see. It's like the Puppet Land Murders or something like that, and it's kind of like from what I understand, it's supposed to be very much like Roger Rabbit, except instead of animated characters, you have puppets, and puppets are Jim Henson type puppets. They're alive, they exist in our world, and it's a human PI and a puppet PI teaming up to solve the murder of some puppet whose stuffing is all over a room or something like that. And I would love to see this because it sounds neat, but it would be like if you did that conceit with everyone being a puppet. It's like, well, what?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get to our first topic, I want to have a final addendum on The Last of Us, which I finished. In the last episode of Molehill Mountain, I talked about I was at a place where there was this raging river, and I couldn't get a prompt to come up so that I could start the cutscene to move on with the game. Turns out that's like literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes, including cutscenes to the end of the game. I was like, if you can get that cutscene to start, then you wash up on a shore, someone rescues you or kidnaps you, and then you fight your way out, and that's literally the end of the game. So I was 20, 30 minutes away from the end of the game. So I finished the game, and I also played that DLC episode, Left Behind, or whatever it's called. And so my final thoughts on Last of Us are it's okay. I have not changed my mind on the fact that its first 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours are really slow and boring. But once the world opens up and gives you a little bit more to do and see and explore, then it becomes just a nice way to pass the time. I think also to the game's credit, it does a lot of presenting new scenarios. Like you get to play as Ellie once. Joel gets sick, and so she has to take care of him. And she has one sequence where you have to hunt a deer, and then they do a thing where you think they're going to damsel her, and they don't. And I'm like, hey, nice job.
Yeah.
And it's pretty nihilist. It's story-wise and character-wise, it's very deliberate. And it's not a feel-good story by any stretch. And while I admire Naughty Dog for their ballsy choice, it doesn't make it that entertaining because I never liked Joel. Ellie's okay. I mean, she gets a pass because she's fairly young. But Joel's just kind of an unredeemable monster. I mean, even when you back up and you look at another Naughty Dog game, Nathan Drake, this is a guy who murders a ton of people to steal ancient artifacts. I mean, Lara Croft, too, and a lot of these games, they're really not good people, but it's framed in a way where it's almost the reality of them killing people is kind of almost a heightened reality. It's more of an impression of what happened than what really happened. In The Last of Us, Joel just flat out murders and tortures people and has no qualms about it. Even when he doesn't have to do it, he does it. He's just a really terribly brutal and violent person, which doesn't endear him to me much. But it's a deliberate choice. And also, one of the things you can tell about the game is I think Zachary just dropped out here, so I'll keep talking. Hopefully he'll come back. You're almost back? Are you back? Zachary? There you are. You dropped out, I think, for a moment.
Hello.
There you are.
Well, yeah, I had to cut out, or I had to end my end of the call because I was like, you were just all like that, and I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Stream
yeah, so hopefully that just dropping out and dropping back in fixes that.
Yeah, 13UCube says, is Mario a good guy?
And apparently not.
Right. It's that kind of a thing. This game leans into what Joel is actually doing and the atrocities that he's committed. So, not the most likable guy in the world. It'd be interesting to see where they go with it in part 2. I'm not totally sold on part 2, mainly because we haven't seen anything yet. But I finished Last of Us, not really jonesing for more The Last of Us. It's really going to take a heck of a showing from Last of Us 2 to present itself as a game that I want to play. I'm not immediately going to buy it. The side story is Ellie and Riley, I think her name is. The end of the game completely spoils what happens in this episode. So if you play the game, you know exactly what happens in the side story. I mean, exactly how it ends, because the last thing she says is literally what the plot of this side story is, which kind of cuts all tension from it. And it's interesting because you play this side story where you and a friend, where Ellie and her friend are wandering around a mall, and there's almost no gameplay. It's just these two kind of wandering around and playing around and talking to each other. So they cut it with kind of a lost chapter from the main game. Are you all right? Sound having technical issues? Zachary? And he's gone. Zachary is having connection issues. So, still worth playing, still sweet. Kind of undercut by the main game. Maybe with the the remastered edition, they might have edited that chapter like into the middle of the game where it belongs. It would have made the ending a bit awkward, I suppose, since she goes ahead and in detail recaps something that you already saw. But I don't know. The Last of Us, it didn't grab me like it seems to have grabbed some people. Yeah, 13UQ, I noticed that. I heard the sigh, which is why I stopped my story and started talking. So that is The Last of Us. And it has giraffes in it, so that's good. It also has, I didn't find everything. There are still a few things in the environment to find, little lost notes and journals and things like that. I think I missed like 20 out of the 140 that are there. Andrew is now The Last of Us, yes. And I thought about going back into 100% it, but I really don't want to. I mean, to the game's credit, it does tell you what you're missing in each major chapter, but it doesn't tell you in which section of which chapter it's in, and I really am not interested in playing through most of the game again. It was fine playing through once, but it's not a game that I really have any interest in going back through. The reason it's still sitting on my desk is because it has a fair amount of like behind-the-scenes stuff, which I haven't watched yet. There's like an hour-and-a-half documentary on it, which I'm interested in seeing. So, well, let's see what the topics are while we we'll wait for Zachary on that front. 13U Cube, does it tell you what it's really missing? Excitement and replayability? Well, I don't think it's... I think that the game's intentions were more story and emotion focused than actual, ooh, this is fun gameplay that I just want to start a new game plus. Although there is a new game plus where you can take your upgraded weapons and play through the game again and upgrade them further if you didn't. I don't know if there are enough bolts or whatever the currency is to fully upgrade them. If you find everything, can you fully upgrade them? In one game, probably not. One thing that did disappoint me is the extra costumes in the game that you unlock after you... I'm not sure when they unlock. I didn't bother looking in the menu until I'd beaten the game. But Ellie and Joel both have about 10 different outfits apiece, and they're all boring. They're all just different flannel shirts or Naughty Dog logo t-shirts or something like that. I'm like, why can't I put Joel in his underwear? Why can't I'd play through the game again if I could run around in underwear, because that makes every game better. Are you back, Zachary? Can you hear? Hello? No? No, looks like you're frozen.
Yeah, I don't know what. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
I was just finishing up my.
I just restarted my computer and hoping that actually fixes things. But
is there like a boxing or wrestling match tonight? Because the chat just went gaga about referees and fighting.
Yeah, there's some kind of fight going on. Is it Mayweather and somebody else? I forget the names
No idea.
of them.
No idea, because I genuinely don't care. Which is not to say anyone who does care is silly. No, it's just not an interest of mine. So,
yeah,
Damien is, I think, saying you're doing a live stream when there's a fight on tonight. Yeah, because I wouldn't be watching it. I probably can't unless it's like on Netflix or something like that.
Nope, it's on pay-per-view. It's like $100 to watch.
Oh, hell with it's. I could pay some.
It's one of those things where you get like 20 of your, 19 of your friends, and everybody chips in $5 to watch it.
I suppose I don't want 20 people in here. I mean, there's enough room for me and maybe another person or two if I'm pushing it, but I don't want 20 people in here. I've only got one couch. Everyone else is going to be standing there watching TV. Anyway, I was just saying that I was disappointed in the extra bonus costumes in Last of Us, because they're all just different flannel shirts and Naughty Dog logo tees. And I'm like, where's the underwear outfit? Where's the big chicken mascot outfit? Why can't I dress Joel up like a hot dog? Come on, extra costumes. I don't want just different colored flannel shirts. It's boring.
Come on, it's the apocalypse. Nobody's going to be running around in an Oscar Mayer hot dog costume.
That's what makes it fun. I love stupid costumes. Oh well. Okay, so let us move to our first topic. So, Trey, before we move, Trey says, I enjoyed The Last of Us, didn't go in thinking of all the extra stuff, outfits, etc., but to play Joel in his underwear would have been great. Yes, it would have been. Okay, so next topic. They're remaking, Square Enix is remaking The Secret of Mana, which I was like, hey, all right, and remaking it in a full 3D, right? Not just redoing the sprite graphics. This is originally on the Super NES.
This isn't going to be their terrible mobile ports of the Final Fantasy games. No, this is going to be they're basically doing a full-blown remastering of the game.
It
3D
looks
remaster.
Right. In modeling quality, I'd put it in like maybe late PS2 era, just with better resolution.
Yeah.
It looks fine. It looks cool. And they are doing voiceovers. They recorded voices. And at least the English voices that they used in the trailer are terrible. I mean, I was totally.
Did they? I'm trying to remember it. Did they have anybody more than just the guy, the boy? I forget his name.
Robin is it? Let me. Randy. It's Randy, and Prim and Popo or Poo-Poo or Popey. I forget what the other. It's Randy, Prim, and
It's Poppy. Been so long since I played the game that I can't remember the little sprite character's name. I just always called him Sprite.
Yeah. So the trailer starts out with the swelling music, and you get a look at the new 3D models for Randy and the other characters, and then Randy opens his mouth and ruins it. He's like, what is a sword doing here? I'm like, oh no, no, don't do that to us.
Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't gonna buy
it's
it
only
anyway,
like
but
a higher pitch than what Andrew pulled off there. But yeah, it was pretty terrible,
I'm
and
glad I'm sitting down.
yeah, because I've heard some lousy voice acting in the past, like Grandia. I was playing that one, and
English
I
dub
don't
of
know.
some of the Tales games are terrible.
Yeah, but like with Grandia, they do they have voices when a character casts a spell or something or uses their special moves. They use actual voices to say some kind of line, and there's whenever the main character uses a lightning move, one of his sayings is a crisp, but he says it with a lisp, and it's like the only time that there's a lisp in any of his voice acting, and he goes, "Burn to a crisp," and I'm like, what? can the voice actor just not say crisp? And it always drives me nuts. And but yeah, but with the Anna remake, yeah, that guy's voice is just incredibly annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it has only like 2 lines in the trailer, but everything else looks fine. It looks like a fine 3D cartoony adaptation of the original sprite work. So
yeah, they definitely the animation and everything looks good. It's all consistent and everything. It's not Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 7 remake quality, but it's definitely something that you would expect to see on a handheld, and it's coming out on consoles too. I think, but but yeah, that voice acting is just terrible. But yeah, I am excited for it. It was Secret of Mana was one of my favorite games of the Super Nintendo era. I liked playing it. I liked the three-player aspect of it.
It is genuinely very good. Yes.
I never actually played full-blown 3-player though. I never actually owned a 4-player adapter for the Super Nintendo. I had one for the original Nintendo, but not for the Super Nintendo. So I never got to play 4-player or 3-player. I got to play 2-player all the time though. That was always good. But same thing with Lost Vikings. You could play 3 players on that, but you couldn't do. And still, again, I didn't have a 4-player adapter. But, so what?
What's a sword doing here? Like, oh my god!
Yeah, one of the things that bugged me about that scene too was that the sword itself, like in the original game, the sword when it's in the stone, it looks like what you would expect a sprite version of Excalibur would look like. It looked like a really cool looking sword, and then when you pull it out, that's when it turns into the rusty sword. But in this one, in the trailer, it's all rusty and stuff in the stone too, and that just really bothered me. I didn't. It just kind of ruined some of the magic, I think. But
well, if you really want to ruin the magic, pre-order now and you receive exclusive DLC costumes at launch on February 15th. Mobile suits for the 3 and tiger suits for the 2 guys and a tiger bikini. So kind of a lum from the Lucia sort of bikini.
Seriously?
For what's her name? Yeah. Scroll to the end of the trailer. There's
I didn't
exclusive DLC costumes if you pre-order. Which actually leads us into our next topic, which is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which comes out next Tuesday. Which is a game
everybody seems really excited about.
It's something that I thought was going to be. This is what's going to get me to buy a Switch. It's the first game that I want to play that I actually need a Switch to play. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, don't need a Switch. I have a Wii U. I'll be playing it on the Switch eventually, but my point is I don't actually need the Switch to play it. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is Switch exclusive. If you do not have a Switch, you do not play this game.
Yeah.
However, as we've been coming off of E3, more and more details about the game have come into light that genuinely turned me off. The first thing we heard was there was going to be a pre-order bonus. If you pre-order the game, you will get a handful of, I think, pixel weapons for the characters. So like maybe 8 different weapons or something like that. Basically, some content is locked behind pre-ordering. Now, from what I understand, there's 100, 200 weapons in the game, so 8 extra.
Not that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal, but still, I don't like it. Then we learned that there are more weapons locked behind 4 different amiibo. So if you want everything, you have to pre-order the game, and you have to buy or happen to already own a Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi amiibo. Each one will unlock, I think, 2 different weapons. One for the regular character and one for the Rabbid version of that character.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. That really irritates me.
Yeah, I don't like it. The amiibo thing is just, makes me want to drop kick Activision for getting this Toys to Life thing started. It's like, go back in time and strangle the Activision guy who invented Skylanders and say, just don't do this. You're gonna ruin Nintendo. No.
And Nintendo had been doing so well with DLC for a while, but we just found out earlier this week that not only is some content locked behind a pre-order bonus, not only is some content locked behind 4 different amiibo.
Yeah, so that's there's $60 right there just for the amiibos, by the way. So you're paying double for the double the price of the game just to get the amiibos.
Yeah, luckily a Mario, Peach, and it can be any Mario or Peach, Yoshi, or Luigi amiibo. So it could be the Smash Brothers one. It could be the Mario Party one. So you do have some options.
Yoshi, yeah.
Right, the Yoshi Woolly World Yoshi should be fine. So you have some options, but that doesn't. But you do have to find it, and hopefully you can find it for a reasonable price.
Yeah. Well, I think at Walmart the amiibos are still like $13-14 at the minimum. So
yeah, but I mean, you're essentially. I mean, unless you collect these anyway and happen to own them, you're basically saying that 2 weapons is worth nearly $15.
No.
Now, if it was, look, if you happen to own these amiibo, great, free stuff. If you don't own the amiibo, $1 and you'll unlock it through DLC. I would be begrudgingly okay with something like that.
Yeah.
If you happen to own the amiibo, if you like the amiibo figurines, you can unlock all this crap. It's great. If you don't want amiibo, then it's a reasonably priced DLC charge. Okay, I might begrudgingly put up with that. But in addition to all that crap, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle has a season pass, a $20 season pass.
Do we know what comes with it, this season pass?
8 unique steampunk weapons. These will be available at launch. So more weapons are locked behind this season pass. Sometime in the fall, they will have more co-op maps.
Okay.
I don't care about that. I mean, it's great if you do that. That's cool. I personally don't care about co-op. I'm a single-player gamer. And then sometime in 2018, brand new story content. What does that mean? Who knows? Do you only want the story content? Well, tough luck, because so far it's only available in the season pass. How much story content is it? Don't know. Is it worth $20? Don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
So I'm not buying Rabbids plus Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I'm done. I'm not buying it now. Good job, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which also means since I'm not buying Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I don't need a Switch. So you don't get that money either, Nintendo. Good job. Hopefully Nintendo doesn't pull this crap with Mario Odyssey.
Considering they've done it with Zelda, and then
they're locking something behind those 3 wedding amiibo. We don't know what, though.
Probably, yeah.
My guess is this.
So they're actually coming out with wedding amiibo. That'd be kind of.
Yeah, well, the Bowser and the white tux
Bowser
and
a Peach all in their wedding.
My guess is it unlocks those costumes. Like you'll see those costumes in cutscenes, but we won't even be able to play in them. The amiibo will allow Mario to run around in his dapper little white tux, which is awesome, but it's not $15 awesome. This should be something unlockable in the game. Like beat the game under these challenging conditions and you unlock the Mario Tux and Tails. Or spend $15 on a nifty little figurine and unlock it, period. Yeah. I would be fine with that. But
Bowser in his tuxedo is kind of tempting because he just looks cool in that white tux.
They're great.
So it's kind of tempting. I might just buy it just to have.
Yeah, as figurines, I think a lot of the amiibo are super cool, especially that damn squishy Metroid. It is so cool. But I don't want to be forced to buy expensive toys, the amiibos, expensive little figurines, in order to unlock small bits of content in a game I already paid full price for. Yeah. That rubs me the wrong way. It seriously does. To the point where I'm more and more frequently throwing up my arms and saying, you know what? Yakuza Kiwami comes out on the same day. I'll be fine playing that for a month or 2. I'm done. I'm not done with Nintendo. I'm just not buying Kingdom Battle right now. I'll probably pick it up someday once I figure out what the DLC content is. It's the same thing with Breath of the Wild. As soon as I figure out what the hell the story content is, and if I want it, then I factor that into the price. And I say, well, okay, I want the story content. It costs $20, so now I have to find the game for 30 or less. And if that means buying it used, that means buying it used. So, I mean, I wouldn't buy the game for $60 anyway, but
and maybe one day, someday down the road, Nintendo will come out with a equivalent of the Game of the Year edition that includes all of the DLC on the little cartridges, and that would be nice. But I don't think Nintendo's ever going to get around to doing something like that.
Probably. Which is a shame because I'm not against DLC as an idea, as additional content that you download into the game. But when the perception, when the feeling is they just said, oh, let's this little piddly stuff we'll just lock away and sell it for us. Don't do that. If you want, pre-order bonuses are like, to me, keychains and art books and stuff like that. The weird tchotchkes for the fans. If you're a big fan and you're going to buy it, you're going to get an art book and the shot glass with the game's logo on it. That's cool. But in-game content, no. If I'm paying full price for a video game, I should have access to the entire video game. So says I. Yeah, that's just how I feel. So, is it still impossible to get some of the amiibo like Wii Fit Trainer? From what I hear, I mean, for example, I looked at some of the Zelda Breath of the Wild amiibo, like the Archer Zelda, which is required to unlock some of the stuff in Breath of the Wild. And I couldn't find it for anything less than like $40. It's actually out of stock. I found some people who were selling it for $40 to unlock a costume. Yeah, that's absurd.
Crazy. Yeah,
I mean, it's a great figurine. It's a nice build. It looks great, but I'm not into figurines. I shouldn't have to buy
Yeah.
expensive figurines in order to unlock content in a game I already paid full price for.
Yeah. But there is a nice little black market of for little cards that are substitutes for the amiibos. People flash the little chips onto these cards and then sell the cards for like $1 or $2, and people can use them that way. And there's a whole market, black market, just for that. And
Yeah,
there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
I
people
imagine
who
you.
bank on that.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you could. Someone's got a list of what the NFC code for all the amiibos are, and you could just flash an NFC chip with whatever the code is, and basically clone amiibos.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
One thing I thought Nintendo would do at some point is do like amiibo trading cards. Someone packs
that
5 for
cool.
$1. And they have the
just little blind bags or something. It's like
they have the exact. Well, that would be its own level of annoyance, but still,
but yeah.
I don't need to build an entire shelving unit. I just have a stack of collectible trading cards with your favorite characters on it, and it has an NFC chip. You tap it on a thing, it unlocks it. That might be cool.
It's something like that. Say like do something like the Hyrule Warriors pack, where it has all of the a card for every amiibo that you would use for Hyrule Warriors, and it's a pack of just that. Same thing for Breath of the Wild or Metroid or Mario Odyssey or Mario Rabbids. Just have card packs just for those those games. That would be cool. I would be down for that.
Figurines don't have the budget or the space for them. We have an alternative manner of unlocking crap in the games you already bought. And it's a lot more cost effective and a lot more space effective. Good work. But no. So instead, I'm just not buying your games, Nintendo. Granted, I'm a drop in the bucket. So, I mean, what I do or don't do makes very little difference. But
see, and that's one of the things that I'm not an amiibos guy. I don't buy amiibos. I've got Skylanders Giants and a whole bunch of figures for that, but I buy them from Goodwill. It's like a bag of like 20 Skylanders characters for $5. That's a darn good deal.
Oh, yeah. They're 12 to 15 a piece.
Yeah, and then I've got some Disney Infinity things. I don't even know if Disney Infinity will even play anymore. But I've got a handful of characters from that. Some Star Wars characters and some Marvel characters, and I think that's all I really have. I don't think I have any of the other character lines, but I've just got some Star Wars and some Marvel characters. But and all those were bought either on clearance or from yard sales or something. But it's just but the amiibos, because they are very limited edition and they're just impossible to find, and that's just one of those things that Nintendo hasn't quite figured out how to do. It's like, people want these things. Why aren't you making them anymore? It's like, oh, we're coming out with a new Zelda game, but we're not making any. We're not re-releasing any of the old amiibos. We'll give you a couple of amiibos, brand new amiibos, but none of the. If you want the old amiibos that work, you're going to have to pay triple to 6 times the MSRP to get them used. Yeah.
13U Cube, I think amiibo is both singular and plural, officially by Nintendo, and it's officially not capitalized either. But it doesn't really matter. You can say amiibos. Everyone knows what you're talking about. All right, next topic.
Yeah.
So, movies! Let's talk about movies. So, it is 2017 for the next couple of months. I thought it would be fun to talk about what films we are looking forward to seeing throughout the rest of the year. So, I'll go first, I guess.
Okay.
One of the films I'm really looking forward to seeing is the Lego Ninjago movie. Surprisingly enough.
When's that one coming out?
I didn't write down the dates of any of these, but it's in the fall sometime.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's coming out, but the trailers has really worked on me.
September 22nd. Okay.
Oh, okay, so into September. It looks really cute. I mean, the Lego movie was great. I was like, Lego movie, whatever, and it was great. And they go Lego Batman. I was like, Lego Batman, whatever, and it was great. And I didn't learn my lesson. They're Lego Ninjago. I'm like, whatever. And then I saw the trailer and went, well, that actually looks pretty good. And it's got a kitty in it, so I'm there.
Yeah, the Ninjago movie does look really fun. I've only watched a few episodes of the Ninjago cartoon show. But,
it's fine. It's fine for kids.
It's better than the Lego Nexus Knights or whatever that is. I watched an episode of that one, and I couldn't stand that Nexo Knight thing. That cartoon was just terrible.
I saw a preview for some other Lego cartoon, which doesn't actually use Lego characters, so I'm not sure what's Lego about it.
Oh, is that the elves or?
Yeah, some fantasy.
Yeah, that's the girl line of Legos. Where,
oh yeah.
Yeah, where
it's so insulting.
Yeah.
No.
It
girls don't like Legos. Make them girly Bratz dolls, and use lots of pastel. Condescending jackasses. What's going on? To be fair, I said what little I saw of the preview. I'm like, I like the style, and it looks fine. But but I saw Lego, whatever it's called. I'm like, what does this have to do with Lego?
Yeah, it doesn't look like Legos. It looks like some generic preteen girl cartoon. Yeah, and it's very sad. I don't,
I mean, not like it can't be good.
It makes me want to go to Lego's corporate headquarters and just slap everybody on the board of directors. It's like, stop making me hate Legos. You guys are stupid. I've got daughters. They like playing with the regular Legos. Make the characters compatible with the regular Lego characters.
Like, what is this? This ain't a Lego. I know Legos. And this is Lego. Reminds me, I saw this little kid back in '98 when the American Godzilla came out. The Notzilla.
The Notzilla. The one that Godzilla actually blew up. And
the Roland Emmerich Godzilla. And they were hiding what Godzilla actually looked like, which is a bad sign, because Godzilla's been around since the 50s. We know what Godzilla looks like. If you're hiding him, it's probably for not a good reason. And so 2 weeks before the movie came out, the toys started hitting the shelves in Walmart and Toys R Us. And I saw the Godzilla and I went, oh no. And there was this little kid staring at this lizard toy. And I said, hey, little kid. And his mom maced me. No, I'm just kidding. So I said, you know who that is? And he looked at me like, no. I said, that's Godzilla. And the kid looked at me like I was the stupidest human being on the planet and said, no, it's not. I said, yeah, that's Godzilla. He says, no, it's not. And I'm like, see? Even this 4-year-old knows that is not Godzilla. So.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I like that.
Yeah, off track a little bit. So, what movies are you looking forward to?
Golly, I was looking at the release schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't follow movies enough because there's like 400 movies coming out for the rest of the year, and I only know like 3 of them. So, yeah, movies that So I'm not gonna and Justice League and Star Wars, all pretty much a given. I'll probably not see Justice League in theaters. Thor is a movie that I want to see on release night because it just looks awesome. Star Wars, I'll probably wait a few weeks or maybe even a little bit longer before I actually get around to watching that one. But outside of that, It
Sure.
looks good. I don't know.
I don't know if I'll see it in the theater, but I am curious.
Yeah, I am curious. I remember watching the two-part mini series movie thing back in the 90s or whenever
Yeah,
that came out.
yeah.
We as a family we actually watched that. It was hilarious.
Hmm.
But I liked it. It was pretty good. I have only some vague memories. I haven't watched it at all since then. But yeah, Tim Curry, pretty good as Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing this new Pennywise in action. I forget the actor's name. I didn't look it up.
One of the
Uh,
Skarsgårds, right?
I think so, but
Brian, Jeremy, Larry. I don't remember.
is episode 8 delayed? No, it's not. It comes out
It's
in
still around Christmas sometime.
yeah,
Last I heard, in
yeah,
December
they're
somewhere.
December 15th is when
Very
Star
good. Yeah,
Wars is
I
coming out.
had not heard it been delayed from there.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they wouldn't delay that.
Yeah, I
But
am.
yeah, so it is something that I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I too am looking forward to Star Wars: Last Jedi. I'll basically, if it's Star Wars, I'll go see it.
Bill Skarsgård is who's
Bill.
playing
Right.
it.
That's the
Yeah.
Skarsgård. Also, Thor Ragnarok. Man, that I'm really looking forward to seeing that. The trailers for that have just been fantastic.
Oh
It
yeah,
looks so fun. So
yeah. I
really
went to watch Guardians of the Galaxy in the Dollar Theater 2 weeks ago, I think,
the sequel.
and yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, just we went. It was in the Dollar Theater, so my wife and I we went and watched that, and they had the trailer for the Thor movie. It was the one where the voiceover where he's like, Thor's telling the Hulk about his day and all that. That was that trailer, and
Yeah.
it was good, cool seeing that up on the big screen, and so I'm really excited for that movie to come out.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. The other movie, okay, another movie that pops up that I'm really interested in seeing how this works out is the Blade Runner sequel, Blade Runner 2049.
All right.
Because it's a direct sequel to the original Blade Runner, so that's something that I've like just like I only saw the original Blade Runner once growing up, and never really had an interest in seeing it again. But it's one of those movies like Mad Max that I enjoyed when I watched it, and I like watching the sequels. Fury Road was really good, and so hopefully this turns out really well and not like Alien Covenant and Prometheus, because those ones Prometheus was terrible and Alien Covenant is apparently pretty bad too. So
All right. Another film I'm looking forward to seeing is My Little Pony, the movie. It's
oh
full CG and it looks a little weird, but hey, it's My Little Pony. It must be good.
yeah. My kids like My Little Pony. I don't, that's probably one of those we'll watch it on Redbox or something. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there something that caught my eye. I don't even know what this is. According to firstshowing.net, it is 78/52 Hitchcock shower scene, and it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, no idea what that is.
Says IMDb says an unprecedented look at the iconic shower scene in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, the man behind the curtain and the screen murder that profoundly changed the course of world cinema. So I guess it's some kind of documentary, but I don't know.
Maybe.
That was interesting to see on the list. Another interesting movie to see on this list is Boo 2, a Medea Halloween, and I've only seen one Medea movie, and that was enough for me.
Halloween one?
It was.
I haven't seen any of them, so
yeah, I don't know what the title was, but it was really annoying. My wife likes them, but I can't. they just don't do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen him in the guy Tyler Perry, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with any of his work. I don't think I've ever even seen him in a movie where he's just some other character. I've never seen any of the Medea movies. I don't think I've ever seen any of his movies. I'm not purposefully avoiding them. I just I haven't. The Medea movies, none of the trailers have said, "Hey, Andrew, come watch me." I see the trailer, I'm like, not doing it for me. So,
Yeah. Oh well. So what other movies you looking forward to?
Jigsaw. They're bringing the Saw movies back, and I am excited to have more Saw in the theater at Halloween because I loved going to the theater every Halloween and seeing a new Saw movie. That was awesome.
Nice.
And then Paranormal Activity ate its lunch, and Paranormal Activity just started sucking and was gone after 4 films and a spin-off.
Yeah.
But Saw had its low points, but they were pretty consistently quality. I definitely say 5 was the weakest, but it still had a lot of great moments.
I haven't watched any Saw movie, so
that's right.
I don't really have an interest in it. Yeah.
And along the go ahead.
The same day as Jigsaw comes out is the documentary about the creator of Wonder Woman. So I definitely I'll probably watch that as a rental. I'm not going to go into the theater to watch it, but I guess it's not really. I don't know if it's a documentary or a docudrama, but one or the other. But I probably won't see it in theater. But,
so another movie, I don't think it has a theatrical release, but it's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray in October, I think, is Curse of Chucky. So there's another Child's Play movie coming out, and that makes me very happy. I'm really
and this one is like all of his surviving victims are in a
hospital or asylum.
Yeah,
at least the woman from the last movie, which is Brad Fiona Dorff. It's Brad Dourif's daughter from the last movie. Or no, Cult of Chucky is the name of the new movie. Curse was the last one.
Yeah.
So
it's Cult of Chucky is the new one. But yeah, it's looks interesting. I've seen the first 2 Chucky movies, but I haven't watched any of the other ones. The original one I've watched, and then the one where the kid goes into military school or whatever.
That's the third one.
Oh, is that the third one? Then I guess I haven't watched the second one. So
yeah, so if you could watch one movie right now in its completed state that comes out sometime 2017, which one would you want to go watch right now?
Like a 2017 movie?
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok.
Me too. From the ones we've been talking about, if I could see any of those movies right now, it would be Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, because I am so pumped for Thor Ragnarok, and it's like if I got the chance to watch it today, I would definitely take it up. I wouldn't shake a stick at Star Wars. If I was offered a chance to pre-screen Star Wars, I definitely would. But Thor Ragnarok, I would. I would break into the editing room and watch that. If I could. But yeah.
Also, I did not get a theatrical release, but we just found out like a couple days ago that Adam Green shot a new Hatchet movie, which is a film that came out in like 2007, and then they shot 2 and 3 back to back a year or 2 later.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's basically Kane Hodder plays a Jason-like character who haunts the Louisiana bayou and chops up anyone who wanders into his swamp. So instead of Jason killing kids out in the woods, it's Victor Crowley killing people out in his swamp. And it's just a gory slasher movie, and they're gory slasher movies in great. And apparently they just shot a fourth one in complete secret, and it's done, and they premiered it earlier this week as a surprise to some film festival or something that was going on, and then they released it. I'm like, oh my gosh! How often does it happen? It's like, and we have a new movie, here it is, rather because we usually know all about these movies years in advance. We know movies that are scheduled for the early 2020s.
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at this list, and on December 22nd, there's listed the $6 billion man, but there's nothing on the there's nothing on the IMDb page. So it's like what?
I remember them talking about doing a $6 million man movie and then adjusting for inflation, calling it the $6 billion man movie. But because $6 million is that all it costs?
Yeah. Oh, that just kind of took me by surprise. I didn't even realize that was even on the.
As far as I know, that's not even in production. I have at least not that I've heard. So anyway, I think that is our show for this evening. So let's plug our stuffs and get out of here. Andrew Eisen here, Eisen is the last name. Plug it into YouTube, and you'll find my YouTube videos. Still in the middle of debut review. I'm recording a video that's the one we talked about last week with Star Wars story suggestions for the Star Wars side story movies. So I'll be recording that directly. Right after the podcast, I'm going to try and record that. So that should be ready, as long as I don't say, no, the script sucks, I need to change it, or my camera catches on fire. That should be tomorrow or Monday. Also, follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen. And that's it. Zachary, plug away.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Easy Night, where I talk about the video games that I play and other video game related things and politics and all that fun stuff. And you can follow my game development work. It's DK_gaming on Twitter and DivineKnightGaming.com. And if you're interested in the Oklahoma game development scene, check out OK Game Devs on Twitter and OKGameDev.com. And I am on Patreon. I think I kept the URL the same, but I'd have to double check that. But I am changing up my Patreon. I was doing it a monthly thing to pay me to write articles, but I decided that I'm changing that up to a 1 game a month challenge, where my goal is 1 game a month, but what I'm going to do is, I switched it over to pay me upon creation. So when I make a game and release it, that's when I get paid. And so my goal is to do something akin to a game jam every month and just make something over a weekend and then get paid for that while I'm working on my main game project and writing articles whenever I get around to it. But I changed it up because articles have just been pretty much non-existent over the last month or so, and I felt bad about taking money for doing that. So yeah, I'm doing this different now. So check that out. I think my URL is still Patreon/Easy Night, but it might have changed. I'd have to double check. But yeah.
13 YouTube asks,
so there's that.
Any chance of a new barbershop video upload? Not much of one, because I'm not in a barbershop group right now. But speaking of Patreon, if you become a member of, if you support me on Patreon, one of the rewards, I suppose, is a video of me serenading my thanks in barbershop style. So if you would like to see that, support me on Patreon. You can do so for as little as $1 a month. Amazing! One of my Patreon milestones, goals, at the $200 mark, I'll do a game stream every week, stream video game.
Yeah.
And I thought, what would be really cool for me? I don't know if it would be cool for any of you, but if I ever get to that point to where I can, using the Patreon funds, offset freelance work enough to do a weekly video game stream, I think what I'd like to do is use that as an excuse to go through my incredibly large backlog of unplayed Steam games. You know, if I had a weekly game streaming show, I'd probably use it just to go through my Steam and Good Old Games backlog of games that I have not played. So that's so support me on Patreon because I want to get through my Steam backlog.
Yeah, see, that's something else that I had considered too. Was you know, I've got, you know, 100+ games on Steam and Good Old Games that I haven't played yet, and it's like, you know, if I play games, I'd do that too. But for now, you know, you're gonna pay me to make games. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah,
All
I
right.
just double checked, and my URL is still Easy Night. I didn't change it, so.
Oh yeah, and mine's patreon.com/Andrew Eisen. So support us on Patreon and feel good about yourselves or something. So yeah, that's it out of us. We are going to. Zachary's probably going to bed. I'm going to eat dinner. Well, I don't know. Should I eat dinner first? Nah, I'll probably try to record the video first and then eat dinner. On the other hand, maybe I shouldn't record hungry. All right. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you back here next week. Take care.
All right. Bye.